Hey guys, it's your founder, Kadeisha Placide, and I am back with another Salon Talks series where we uncover, let our hair down, and just have organic girl chat. So, happy Mental Health Awareness Month and also Women's Health Month. It is the month of May, and we are slowly approaching summer. And guys, I cannot wait, let me tell you. Like, I am craving a nice hike, great weather, great beach, some sand. You guys have no idea. So I am going to go ahead and don't take up too much more time, but I'm going to introduce you to my guest who I'm super, super, super excited to share with you guys. She is a trailblazer, a culture shifter. She is making amazing impact, and it's my girl. So, hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course.
I can't wait for Girl Chat.
Of course.
Yes.
So, first and foremost, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So,
who are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie Joy. I'm the founder and CEO of Baddies in Tech, and I'm a former tech recruiter. I'm a career consultant, and my purpose really is to help women of color start and grow their tech careers and just help them feel like they belong within the tech industry. Tech is such a male-dominated field, and a lot of the times it feels like you can't be who you are and be successful in the tech industry. So, Baddies in Tech is really all about bringing your full self to tech and knowing that you can be a baddie out there, you can be a baddie in tech. So
I love that. And how did you come up on the term baddie? How did that come about?
So from a selfie.
A selfie?
Yes, okay. Yes. It happened with a selfie. I used to travel for work. When I first started my tech career, I was working at an AI health tech startup, and I was working in business development. And so I used to travel for work, onboard the clients, really help troubleshoot and all of that. And I was like pretty young because this was right out of college.
Yeah, fresh.
Fresh out of school. And so, was traveling one day, and this was after my birthday. So it was like maybe a couple of days after my birthday. So I saw my birthday wig, I was feeling myself, and I was chatting with the client, and he was like, you're doing such an amazing job. Like, how did you get this job? You're so young. And so he was like hyping me up and big upping me like from a professional standpoint. And I was also feeling myself from like a feminine, like baddie standpoint. Yeah. And so I went to the bathroom, I took a break and I took a selfie and I just hashtagged it Baddies in Tech. And I was like, I feel like a baddie in tech.
I love that.
Yeah. And
that's very like affirming.
Exactly. Like it was like, this is how I'm feeling in the moment. And so it was just something that I was like, yeah, like it was a no-brainer. And I clicked the hashtag and I saw no one had ever used it before. And that shocked me because I was like, I mean, there's other baddies in tech out there. There's gotta be, you know what I mean? So I thought that like it was already gonna be a thing. I didn't think that I was like coming up with something when it like popped in my head. But I clicked it and no one had ever used it before at that time. And this was on Instagram. So it's like, oh, like this describes me as a woman and as like a professional. And I feel like it should be a thing. And so I was like, I'm just gonna start it.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's how it came about.
Okay. And then you were able to like have other baddies come along with you through your platform, your community.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so for me at the time when at the job that I had started, I was the only Black person. I was the youngest person at the company. I was of course the only Black woman. So Baddies in Tech really was also a way for me to build my network and like find other women out there, maybe external to my company that related with my journey, that I could learn from, that I could just like come along with and grow with. And so when I started Baddies in Tech, I really started it with like reaching out to other women that I thought were baddies in tech. And I like actually started by sharing their stories. So I would interview them and I would be like, this is, Solange. And this is her story. I remember the first woman I ever did was a woman named Bianca. She was a product manager and she was like building her own app. And it was like a skincare app. So it very much like blended that
right
like
up my alley.
Girl, like exactly. It was like girly vibes with like tech and it just like really well encompassed like baddies in tech. And so she was like the first person I ever interviewed and put up on the platform.
Yeah. So you mentioned like femininity a few times, and
Yeah.
also about like being a woman of color. So how are you creating inclusive spaces for us women that look like us through the
Yeah.
platform that you currently have?
Yeah, so I think it's all about us wanting to be in the same space together. And, of course, a lot of the times, like, we are the only on our team. And so Baddies in Tech is, creating spaces where we can network. We've done things like paint and sips, or you can just come and, like, have girl time with women that share interests with you, hobbies, but also, like, career interests, right? And you can build friendships not only at like a professional networking event, but like at some like an activity. So we do things like that. We also have a Discord community. So that has about 6,000 members in it. And it's just girls that are chatting with each other, sharing resources, sharing events, asking each other to come along.
Real community.
Yeah, real community, asking each other to come along on this event, sharing referrals to jobs, to, opportunities. And just like knowing that you have this like space that you can come to during your day where like your coworker is annoying you and you can come and be like, hey, baddies, like, how do you handle this
It's
situation?
like a sacred community.
Yeah. And like, 5 people will chime in and tell you like, this is how I would handle it. It's just priceless. So yeah, just like really creating a space that doesn't exist that, women can come to and say like, I'm having this issue from a professional standpoint, or I'm having this issue from a life standpoint, from, just being a woman out there in the world and like having a sisterhood that will give you advice, with no strings attached. Yeah.
I love that. Community is so, so important. It's like one of the pillars to our overall wellness is community and sisterhood.
Yeah.
So it's very much so needed.
Absolutely.
So while you're doing all these amazing things, taking over the world, how are you doing it all? Like, what are the things that you're currently doing to tend to your overall, self-care, like your own wellness? How are you taking moments to be mindful and practice like throughout your weeks and your days?
Yeah, it's something that I've had to be very intentional about. I was not always like mindful of the balance. And, I think in my earlier 20s, like, I was like, I'm trying to hit this goal. So I'm just going to keep striving towards the goal and I'll get there and then I'll take care of myself.
Yeah.
And I've learned now that like, that is not the way to go, because what if you never hit the goal?
Exactly.
Then you
gotta
like,
do it.
Yeah.
In the interims, like during the
moment.
time.
Exactly. And it really is like about the journey. So I think people say that all the time, like, it's not the destination, it's the journey.
It is.
But
it's
I
the
think
little like line between our lifespan.
Yeah.
They say like you're born this year, but it's all about that dash.
Yeah, it's the time that it's what you do in the day to day, and it compounds and it adds up to what the destination becomes. And I think that, yeah, it's like, what if I never get to that goal? Like, what did I learn and how did I take care of myself? How did I make myself feel? How did I make other people feel on the journey, that I've found to be more important? So, now I'm just more intentional about like, how do I find pockets, throughout the journey in my day to day, instead of like waiting to be like, I'm going to reward myself with rest or with self-care when I hit this goal. Like, how do I stop and like really take care of myself? So I just kind of like, it's about prioritization for me. Like, some days I'm like, okay, I have all of these things to do and I haven't stopped and like taking care of myself. I haven't stopped to do, sometimes I forget to eat.
Yeah, that's a real thing. That is a real thing. It's like you're not really enjoying because the thing about like just eating or like going outside or just taking like some fresh air. A lot of people work from home right now. So those little moments allow you to be present, allow you to really like ingest like just joy, pockets of joy throughout your day.
Pockets of joy.
So if you forget to eat, it's like you don't really get that moment to really feel like to feel your food go down and to feel fulfilled by anything. So
and I feel like when you do take that intentional time to just step away, I think part of the self-care is being like, like affirming the fact that you deserve that 15 minutes, 20 minutes to just take a walk and like go and do other things. And it feels good. It's a compounding effect because it feels good that you are taking care of yourself, that as much as you're taking care of the business, as much as you're taking care of everyone else, that like you also care to take care of yourself. So I just try to find like little pockets on the way, on the journey. I've also stopped beating myself up about like productivity. Like if I don't finish my entire to-do list, like this
It'll get done.
Yeah, it'll get done. Like, so earlier today I was like, I'm so overwhelmed. I have so many different things to do. And then I was like, okay, prioritize. And I was like, what needs to get done today? And what can I push off to tomorrow? And all of that stuff. And I just pushed it off and I did what I could do. And I came here to talk to you.
I love that.
So I've just kind of stopped beating myself up about that stuff. And and then I like kind of self-care in different ways, which I'm sure we'll get into. Yeah.
My alarm. But yes, I know you speak about the journey. So when it comes to just like, again, the pillars of wellness, for me, I'll talk for myself right now, and I definitely want to hear more about like what your thoughts are. But faith has been like one of the biggest things for me,
100%.
like being able to be grounded in my word, having a strong belief system in God will do all things for me, you know, things are happening for me. Of course, you can relate when it comes to like running a business, being a founder. It's so much moving parts. And you do, of course, have to take time and pockets of joy for yourself and all of that. But for me, a big part of it is like prayer and like intentional moments with God. And I will say that there are certain seasons that I can do better. Like, even like right now, I'm like,
100%
I can.
right now.
Yeah, like it's so much things happening in my life right now. And I'm like, okay, let me make sure I'm taking intentional time to like just spend time with God and be at his feet, you know, and just really like be in his presence. Because if not, then I'm just going. And I'm like, wait, I'm extremely burned out, you know, like things don't, like I don't feel right, you know? So when it comes to faith, that is something that I believe for me, it caters to my wellness journey and it fulfills me. So how has how has faith affected you and your wellness, and is it a pillar that you take in your wellness journey overall?
Yeah, 100%. It's what I lean on to get this done. Like I could never. I do not know how people raw dog life without God. Raw dogging life without Jesus is crazy.
It's insane.
Like, like he is the only way that I do this. And I mean, I relate to what you're saying, right? Like I feel like I could always do better, that I could, you know, be spending more time. And the days that I'm like intentional, where like I wake up and I spend 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, like in worship, in my Bible, in prayer, the entire day is different.
It's so different.
It's so different. Yeah. And then the days that I don't, I'm like, dang, you know, like, and then I wonder like why. And it's because like I didn't, you know, start with that foundation. And, you know, to your point, like there's a lot of days that I don't start with it and that I should. And I think another part of that is that I've also learned to not beat myself up about that. And like not let like shame creep in and like,
that's a really good one. That's a very good point.
Because it's like you can't do anything to make God love you more. And you know, spending time with God is for our own good. And so it's like he's not mad at me because I didn't pray this morning, but like I'm cutting myself off from my source. So like again, it's just like continuing to learn that self-love of like, this is what I need versus being on my phone for 30 minutes when I wake up.
So like, it's so easy to be on the phone and just like, I gotta get this done and that done. Let me start by doing it first thing when I wake up. But no, you need to take a moment to breathe and really connect with the source, with God.
It's hard because I'll like wake up and I'll like want to check my emails, my calendar, like all of the things.
Let me say this. When you do it habitually, like you wake up, you check your phone, it's like you kind of get into the routine of doing it. So it's like once you start it, it's like very hard to like weed yourself out. So not even trying to get like into the practice of checking the phone, I think would like, it's super helpful.
100%. And so like this morning I like found myself doing that. So I was like,
you caught it.
I did. Well, yeah, I did. And I did do a little bit of Bible study after. But what I decided was like, I'm just going to block the app. when I wake up.
The email app?
Yeah, the email app, the calendar
never thought
app,
about the email app.
Instagram app.
The Instagram, yes.
All the apps. I'm going to block it up until like 9, 10 a.m. Then I just can't check it.
Yeah.
Like
nothing, work is not running away from us.
No,
It'll be there.
It'll be there. And it's like, I can just read the Bible, do my workout, and then I'll check it. It's fine. Like, I don't have to check it right now. So, and it's like, it's because like you don't have that blocker to like do like no, you know. So we just like our dopamine hits. So that's just what I do in the morning. So yeah, I'm gonna try it from tomorrow.
Okay. So for me, what is one moment that I want to say like I've been tested? Like I want to know about, of course, a moment that you've been tested. But I'll start.
Sure.
So I would definitely say, let's just say when it comes to like running a brick and mortar business, like, and I'm sure a lot of brick and mortar businesses and a lot of solopreneurs can agree that you're doing a lot of things on your own, So for me, I feel like my faith is sometimes tested when it comes to just believing in that this can all work out, because I'm doing I'm making sure the clients are active and they're in the salon, they're in the chair. I'm making sure that the team is fulfilled and the team is happy. Yeah. I'm making sure that the managerial, like the staffing, also like on the back end is also doing what we need to do. So it's a lot of like leadership, but also just a lot of moving parts. So for me, I want to believe that this can run many, many more years. Of course, like that's my vision. Like this is my baby as well. So, but I would say that just being tested, feeling like, is this something that God wants me to continue, constantly just trying to ask him, like, is this what you want from me? Do you need me to pivot?
Yes.
What do you, what should I do?
Yes.
So, yeah, I talked to God about it. And
what do you hear when you ask him?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Sometimes you're like, God, why are you not saying anything?
It's true. It's true. It's like, where I am.
Yeah.
But he's in those small moments. Like, you just have to really, like, listen up, but I'll say this. From the birth of my journey as a salon owner, as you know, I birthed Women Empowered Collective. Sure. And I'm so fulfilled with that, and I can't, like, no one can take that from me. So I feel like those are like the God nods of like, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. I gave you a foundation, and that was for you to build community and to service women. And I still service women. I'm still a cosmetologist. I still do hair, and makeup. But just my purpose and my passion. Yes, it's to send women out into the world looking beautiful, feeling beautiful as well. But I get to do it on a bigger level with some of the events that we host, with our digital tech-based platform that we have as well. When it comes to like what I'm able to look out, like pan out and see what this has afforded me and what it has done for my life, I'm so grateful, but my faith be tested, trust and believe. I'm like, what is happening?
100%.
But I always say, it's like, oh my God, to run a brick and mortar, you have to be a little crazy, just a little bit. But
to
shout
run
out
a
to the
business,
people.
period. Yeah. Like we were talking about that the other day. Like to do events, you have to be insane.
You have to be crazy. But yes, I would love to know like how, maybe this year, we can just start with this year. Like how has your faith been tested this year?
I mean, I think like when we think about what's going on in the larger market with like DEI and like the Trump administration and all the things and like how that affects like our business, I feel like it just feels like the odds are stacked up. And I think I feel very similar to you where I asked God, I'm like, I've been doing this for a few years. Like, is this what you want me to keep doing? Sometimes I think like, did I put myself here? Did I like just go ahead and start doing
was
this
it my
thing?
own passions and,
or was
pursuits?
it like, was this what you want for me? And, I ask him all the time, like even today, like I was, in the shower and I was like, this conference. Oh no, I was thinking about the space, right? And how I've been like praying about the other space that we've been talking about, the
Yes.
And And then like obviously we have the other one that we could go that we went to last year, and I was like, okay, well, maybe like we just go with the one last year because you know we have the connections, we know it, and it's like whatever.
It's familiar.
It's
as well.
familiar, yeah. But I'm like, is that me not like losing faith, just like because this is like comfortable and like it makes me feel assured that at least okay, this one thing is checked off, like me just going here, or should I like keep praying and like wait for God to like tell me what to do about this other space?
That's a good point.
So, you know, I have those moments all the time where it's like my faith is tested and I don't know what the right answer is. But I think to your point, and kind of what I assure myself with is like Jeremiah 29 verse 14, which is, you know, I know the plans that I have for you.
Give you a future.
To give
and
you
a
a
hope.
future and a hope, plans to prosper you, and not to harm you. And so I think like, it's just remembering God's sovereignty. Like nothing that I could ever do could spoil God's plan for me in the long run.
Nothing.
Like as long as I stay rooted, grounded, and listen to the little moments that you mentioned, eventually like his plan is gonna, you know, it's gonna fulfill
It
itself.
always prevails. It
Yeah.
always prevails, and it always outwins our own desires. You know, so
100%.
whatever's not meant to be, and whoever is not meant to be, God will literally take them like doo doo doo,
Yeah.
and remove them right out of the
it.
picture. You know, so it's just we just have to trust in that.
100%. And I think it's just also remembering what he's done in the past. Like I think there's just been so many times where he's come through that like, why would this be any different?
Exactly.
I
And
remember
he's not
like,
a God that will lie. You know, he'll
yeah,
keep his
exactly.
promise
He
every
keeps
time.
he keeps his promises. I remember the first Baddie Con. Well, we can get into it because I know you're gonna ask me like how I integrate faith. So I want to tell that story.
No, I want to know.
that.
I want to
Okay.
know. Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna say the first Baddies Con. Yes.
Yeah, so our first Baddie Con, I remember my team, we decided to do it in like May, and like the event was in August.
Oh, you started planning it.
Yeah.
Oh, we know now that takes about a year.
Yeah, right.
Essentially.
It takes at least 9 months.
At least.
So I remember there was a week came and my team was like, are we doing this or are we not doing this? So I was like, I don't know. And mind you, at that time we had like $2,000 in the bank account. To put it into perspective, the venue for BaddyCon year one was $16,000. So we did not we did not have the money to do it.
Yeah.
We didn't have the money. We didn't have no sponsors at the time. There was just no evidence to say that this was going to work. This was going to be our first conference. We just didn't. There was nothing.
Wow.
And my team was like pressuring me. They were like, you know, are we going to do this or not? We have to make a decision.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Give me the weekend. I'm going to pray about it. I'll let you guys know on Monday. So that weekend I went to church, and during like the worship session at church, the worship leader started prophesying. He never does that.
Oh, wow.
He never did it before. He has not done it after. And I go to church almost every single week. That was the first and last time I've heard him do that. And he was like, there's somebody here. You're at a crossroads. You have to make a big decision. And you don't know what to do. But God wants me to tell you that you will be victorious.
Wow. That gives me chills.
Yeah. And that was what I held on to be like, yeah, God said it.
Yeah.
God said we're going to be victorious, so let's move forward. We had $2,000, no sponsors.
That's literally faith, though.
And
it's like
that
the
was
things
faith.
that we don't even see, but you believe that it can happen.
Exactly, and I believed it because he said it. So, and then that's how we did the first BaddyCon. And, you know, I remember doing it, and I was like, oh, it's just going to be like a small, local conference in New York. And we had, we had people flying from Paris,
showed up and
from the UK, from all over America. And, you know, the second year we had about 350 people attend, and the second year it was 750. So it's just like, God has done it before.
He's doing his thing. And that's how you know you're in alignment and in purpose. It's when everything just kind of it's not easy. Yeah. It's not that it's no resistance at all, because it sometimes comes with some like hardships. Yeah. But it happens so naturally, you know, like things just fall into place how it's supposed to. Yeah. So this is definitely, clearly it's a calling, you know.
Thank you. And I think like Yeah, you would think so, right? That I would be like, yeah, like this is definitely 100% the thing that I'm supposed to be doing with like stories
It
like
could be a
that.
stepping stone,
But
too.
right, that's true. But it's like I think as a person, we so easily forget
Mm-hmm.
like what God has done. It's like, you know, if you read the Bible, Israel,
Yeah.
they saw God part a sea.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then
Uh-huh.
like the next day they're complaining. So, you know, we so easily forget what God has done and what he can do because, you know, we're just focused on our own desires and all the things.
Exactly.
But,
And timing. We're on
and
our
our
own
own
timeline.
timing. Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
God, I know you did it before, but are you going to do it again? Are you going to
Again,
keep
no.
that same momentum? Because I haven't seen it happen in a while. You know, so
Right,
you kind of lose
exactly.
your patience.
Your patience.
And our timing is not
It's
his
not
timing.
his time.
Yes.
Yeah, and our thoughts are
So,
not his thoughts. So
nope.
it's hard to like, you know, hang on to those things.
Yeah.
And to your point, we question like, God, am I even still supposed to be doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, just a year ago or just 2 years ago, you spoke clearly to me and like made this thing happen. Even last year, you did so many things to make, you know, to remove roadblocks and things like that. So yeah, it's just like the remembering.
It's the remembering and the patience, you know.
And the patience.
I'm working on the patience part for sure. And just like giving up my timeline that I thought that everything will happen
Yeah.
in the order. Recently, you know, I recently turned the big 30.
Ooh.
Girl, it feels like a big old age. I'm like,
Really?
"Ooh, it's a big age, but I feel like I conquered, like, I went over like a fear, you know?
When's your birthday?
January 26th.
Oh,
So
you
I'm
just
the end of,
you
yeah,
okay.
just turned 30. So it was something where I felt like this has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
My life has to look a certain way. I
Right.
had to kind of grieve through the process of what I thought my life would look
Should
like,
look
you know,
like,
and what it should look
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Keeping in mind that it's not on my timing. Like if God wants me to have children, God wants me to be married, God wants me to have this certain type of level of income, wants me to live in a certain neighborhood, that's what's going to happen when he wants me to, when he wants it to happen. So I can't put those pressures and constraints and timelines. And my 20s, I will say, girl, a lot of anxiety just because of the timeline, just because I'm like, things have to look a certain way for me, you know?
Right,
So
right.
one, perfectionism, trying to get rid of
Oh
it.
my
you
God.
know, it's been instilled in
I'm
me
such a
from childhood.
perfectionist. Yeah.
Especially
yeah.
growing up in a Caribbean household, it was just
Right.
very instilled, like you got to do things this way.
Exactly.
But not only that, but just like timing and just knowing that even the picture of what I believe that my life would look like in the chronological order is not it's not up to me. It's really up to God. So, and the minute that you take it up to your own hands, that's when the nonsense,
Anxiety, the stress.
yeah, the nonsense, or God forbid you so bad want an opportunity, or you so bad want to be in a marriage. Go ahead, and you can go ahead and do it, but it's gonna be crazy. It's
That's
gonna be a
not
lot of
gonna be,
bumps. It is not
right.
meant to be.
Right.
So yeah, that is something I'm working on in terms of like
Yeah.
my faith, is my patience as
Yeah.
well.
I love that. I feel like I'm 28 now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like trying to prepare myself for like
29 was crazy. 29, I'm like, oh.
yeah, there's like this one particular thing that I want really bad, and this is the last year that I can get it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to prepare myself for like,
I think I have an idea. Maybe. I think I have an idea.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And it's like if I don't get it, like
You can always get the 40. It's the
That's-
30. The 30.
child,
You know what
I
I'm
don't
talking
want
about.
that. I don't want that one.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes. This one
it's
is
like,
the one.
yeah,
And it will happen.
Amen. I
Yeah.
received that in Jesus' name. So
Yes.
it's like I'm trying to, I'm holding on to faith, but it's like also, God is still God, regardless of what happens.
Exactly.
So
Despite the outcome.
Yeah.
Despite our feelings.
and it's like you never know, like what God is also protecting you from, So anyway,
The rejection, I'm learning to embrace. I don't even know if we call it rejection or redirection. Like embrace
Yeah.
those moments that we feel humanly rejected, but
Right.
claim it to be a redirection instead.
Right.
So that way it's not like completely throwing you off.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
I love to consider. I like to reframe certain things because I know it's happening for me and not to me.
exactly.
So yes, but I do want to get into a little bit about the upcoming summit.
Yeah.
So I'm girl.
So excited.
So much planning. It's been a whole road.
Yeah.
It's been a journey planning the Run the World. This year is going to be the Run the World Summit.
Yes.
So in the past, Women in Power, we have had an amazing, highly anticipated brunch.
Yeah.
Right. So the brunch first started here at the salon.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes.
In this building?
In this,
Wow.
yes,
I can see
yes.
it though. You could put like some tables.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see it.
Exactly. So it started here the first couple years, and then last year was the first time we outsourced and we went to another venue.
Gotcha.
Right? So it grew and it's growing and it's getting bigger, and the partnerships that we're getting and the people that's coming out and the anticipation and all of that, it's a lot of moving parts. But this year we decided to up it up a notch and make it into a full-blown summit experience. And because you have conferences, that it's not just two panels, or it's not just a fireside chat here and a cute brunch here.
No.
It's a whole
Production with
a whole
moving
production.
parts.
You need a team.
And a budget. And a
And a
team.
budget. And a budget.
A big budget.
a big budget, girl, big bag. But in terms of just planning and just getting all the things together, I'm excited. Ultimately, like it's gonna be amazing. But I'm even more excited to have you join us on one of the panel discussions.
Yes, I'm so excited for that. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be amazing.
So this is our precursor right now.
Yes, I love, like, you could tell I love speaking on panels. I love moderating. Like, I feel like I've gotten so used to it now. So I'm just excited to
very
be
natural for
on
you.
your stage.
Yes, it's very natural for you, and I can't wait. But your discussion is going to be around community and purpose, and in fact, the theme for this year is the essence of purpose in relationships. And every year I do a different theme. Last year was culture, media, and influence. So all of the people that we had on the stage essentially kind of fit that in some way, shape, or form. This year, the essence of purpose in relationships, again, we hand selected the people that are going to be participating. Of course, you.
I'm excited for the lineup. Y'all gotta come through this lineup.
Exactly.
I'm like Kadeisha. I'm excited.
I'm excited to attend too.
Yes.
Shoot. But yes, the theme is the essence of purpose in relationships, and the themes always tie back into what's going on in my life, right? As I mentioned, faith is important. Intentionality is important. Wellness, as we know, but purpose, it just speaks very loudly to me right now in the season, as well as relationships. And for me, relationships can look like outside of course, romantic, but like community and sisterhood and my network, like my network has just been so helpful in like all different areas of my life. So as we know, the network definitely affects our net worth.
Yeah.
And I believe in that through and through.
Yeah.
So the theme is the essence of purpose in relationships, and your panel is going to be about the purpose project, relationships into platforms. So I just want to talk a little bit about what people can expect, not too much.
Not too much though. You gotta get your ticket and come
Exactly.
through. Yes.
But when I thought about the purpose project, I thought about dynamic group of people that are creating amazing projects, essentially, or platforms, and creating it and making it into a purpose project, I would say.
Yeah, I love that.
And then the subtitle, relationships into platforms, all ties back into community building and just like how these amazing women that are living in their purpose and their passions are now creating platforms for other people and relationship opportunities for other people. So yeah, I just wanted to speak to you about like your journey. Like, how do you feel like fulfilling other women and like creating opportunities for many other people and having a platform, such as Baddies in Tech?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's like the best part, right? Like when you like hear the testimonials and women have gotten jobs or have met their mentors, or have gotten their promotions. And it's just like impacting their lives, or like, some of my favorites are like, I didn't think that I could be in tech, and like Baddies in Tech opened my eyes to the fact that like this is possible for me, and that there's like these different pathways and avenues to a career in tech. Like I love that because it's that representation that I was missing when I started.
Exactly.
That the platform is fulfilling. So I mean, it's like that's the only reason that we do it.
Exactly.
Right? Is like being able to like create that impact and have someone like grow, have someone, because I forget, there's this statistic where like if you like if you feed a woman, maybe it's like a African proverb, but like if you feed a woman, you feed a village, right? It's like if you give a woman like access to financial resources and opportunities, like you're not just impacting her, you're impacting her family and her generations and her community.
Very true.
So
I like that
it's
one.
like kind of crazy. Like I feel like now I'm just like internalizing it, but like how this platform can affect like generations and
does.
communities. And
You have a
know,
mantle.
so many
You literally have a mantle over you, and you're passing that to the other people that's in your community, the other sisters, other baddies as well. So it's a big responsibility.
It is. There's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, but it's good pressure. It's
Yeah.
good pressure. In terms of like purpose, what does purpose speak to you? And how does that apply to your life? Like when you think about purpose, how do you internalize that?
Yeah, it's so interesting because I think people say like, you know, I think everyone is trying to find their purpose in this life.
Yes.
Like that's like the biggest thing is like I don't feel fulfilled in my purpose, and I feel like I feel that way, and I felt that way since like starting with Baddies in Tech. Like I feel
That's a big
like
deal.
I've found my purpose and that like I'm living in my purpose. I think obviously the times where it gets hard, I'm like, this is not my purpose. But like I don't have that like void like of like, oh, I don't have a purpose in this life. Like I feel very much purposeful.
Fulfilled,
And I always say like God gave me this platform. I always say God gave me Baddies in Tech because I think before that, like I felt a void. I needed something to fixate on that I could like bring my creativity through. And like I think back on it sometimes and I'm like, I just don't even know like who I would be without Baddies in Tech, you know? And that's kind of scary too because I started it in my early 20s. Now I'm in like my late 20s.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, well, if this, you know, God calls me to a different something.
How do you pivot?
Like how
That's
do
what
I
life's
pivot,
about.
you know? Because I'm like, yeah, so it's been my entire 20s. And so I think I just have to have that trust in God. Like if he calls me to a different path. And actually I've been starting to get a lot of questions from like mentors and, you know, people will reach out and be like, oh, like exit strategy for Baddies in Tech. And like, are you planning on acquisitions? Are you planning on selling it? Blah, blah, blah.
That's
And
a
I'm
whole
like,
other topic.
I have people ask me all the time, like, what is, you know, I was even talking to Franco the other day.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Big ups to Franco.
Big ups to Franco. We love Franco.
Exactly.
He's great. But he was like, yeah, so like, you know, you have to think about like, what are you building this business for? Is this something that like you'll pass on to your kids? Is this an intergenerational thing? Are you going to sell it? And it's like, I have no idea. You know, I don't know what that exit strategy will look like. So I think it's something that I need to start thinking about.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Any founder,
Yeah.
anyone that has an entity of some sort, you have to think about what is the end goal. You know, so it's good that Franco was putting that bug in.
Yeah, and I've been, you know, other people have said it, so maybe I'll work on that with him. But like,
I'm in the same boat. We can chat. We can
chat about it. And that's another thing too. Is like I'm actually so blessed to have like met you.
Yes.
Just because like I feel like I was asking for like aligned friendships and like women who, you know, loved God and like we're also kind of in like a business space, and I feel like upright you. So I'm super grateful.
Same. Yes. So we're gonna close out, but I want to let the people know how can they find you outside of here.
Yeah, of course. So you can follow me. Well, follow Baddies in Tech first.
For sure.
Yes, follow Baddies in Tech on all platforms. It's at Baddies in Tech on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, all the platforms. We also have our website, baddiesintech.com, where you can learn more about us, join the community. We have our conference coming up in August, BaddieCon. So definitely check that out. It's an amazing time.
It's such a good time.
It's such a good time.
I'll say this. We participated as a salon last year at Baddies.
Yes.
Baddies and Con.
Yes.
Baddies and Con. BaddieCon. So we did the beauty bar activation, which was such a fun time. And
we gotta run it back.
We have to run it back. And our behind the scenes guy, Darren. Shout out to Darren.
Shout out
He
to Darren.
recaps our amazing
Yes.
video and our great time. So we have great memories of that economy.
Absolutely.
Definitely have to run it back. For
I'm
sure.
so excited for this year. I'm grateful for you for
Same.
like bringing that, because a lot of people loved like the beauty activation last year.
It was so fulfilling
yeah.
too. Just making people like walk away and like, okay, like I'm gonna be on stage. I have like some of the speakers came by. I was like, I'm just gonna get a little spruce, you know.
I love that.
And they came by and got a little edge touch up, a little,
Yeah.
you know, a little spruce up for their hair, and we really felt fulfilled. So thank you for creating that environment for us.
Of
But
course.
I do want to plug in also the summit that we have coming up.
Yes.
Again, you guys are going to be seeing
Yes,
Allie again.
I will be there.
So get your tickets. The tickets are going fast. So if you guys don't get it,
Get your
you
tickets
know,
before they
you're going to
sell
have to
out.
catch back up for next year.
Yeah.
But June 21st through 22nd is going to be a 2-day event right here in New York City. And people are going to be flying in from all over. It's going to be it's going to be highly visited, very well anticipated.
Y'all,
in
she
terms
got
of the
some
brands.
great speakers. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Like some of your faves are gonna be on that stage. So
Girl,
definitely,
I want to just
definitely check it out.
attend.
Yeah.
Like I don't like I'm
You don't
doing
even
all of
wanna
this.
run it.
No,
I
I
feel
just want
that.
to attend. I don't even know if I'm going to be speaking
I
at a panel or
I told my
anything.
team I'm an attendee this year. Don't ask me anything. I'm attending my conference.
Exactly. So yeah, the theme this year, the essence of purpose and relationships. We'll get into the discussion with all the panels, the workshops, the brands again that we have are amazing. We'll be announcing more about that, and yeah, just continue to follow us and stay up to date at Official Women in Power and BeWomenEmpowered.com to know all the things that's going on with the summit. So, guys, we can't wait to see you there, and we'll see you back for another Salon Talk series next time.
Yay.
Thanks, Allie.
Thank you. This was so fun. I loved it.
Yes. Am I done?